The two suns of Arcanus burned high in the purple sky, painting the red desert in firelight. The wind was sharp and dry, carrying dust that shimmered like glass. Captain Rian Holt led the exploration crew across the dunes, their metallic suits glinting under the harsh light. They were far from Earth, on a planet where the air itself felt alive. The mission was simple: map the ruins left by the vanished alien race known as the Sarathi. But nothing on Arcanus was ever simple. Among the crew was Lyra, the youngest biologist from Earth. She was quiet, always curious, always the first to kneel beside a strange flower or touch a glowing stone. Ryan admired her bravery but also feared it. This world didn't forgive mistakes. Stay close, Ryan warned through his comms. The scanners picked up movement below the surface. Lyra nodded. Probably sand lizards. They're harmless. But she was wrong. As they neared a cluster of silver rocks, the ground shifted. A sound like hissing steam rose from beneath. Suddenly, a long-scaled creature burst from the sand, its body shining like molten metal, eyes burning green. It was no lizard. It was the Serpent of Arcanus, a creature thought extinct for centuries. Before anyone could react, it struck. Lyra screamed as the serpent's fangs sank into her arm. Her suit's alarm blared, flashing crimson. Venom detected, the AI voice warned. Tissue decay in progress. Ryan fired his plasma rifle, the blue bolts burning holes through the creature's scales. The serpent coiled, let out a shriek that echoed across the dunes and vanished into the sand again. Silence fell except for Lyra's ragged breathing. "Get the med kit," Ryan shouted. But the AI's voice was cold. "Warning. No known antidote in database." The others stepped back, fear written across their faces. No one wanted to touch her. The venom of the Arcani serpent was legendary. It could kill within minutes. Lyra's eyes met Ryan's. I don't want to die here." Ryan's mind raced. He'd seen alien poisons before, but nothing like this. Her veins were turning black beneath her pale skin, spreading fast. He tore off her glove, searching for a way. Any way to stop it. "Captain, protocol says we isolate the infected," said Dr. Vial, the medic. "We can't risk contamination." Ryan ignored him. He wasn't built to watch someone die while standing still. Not when he could fight it. Not when she was part of his crew. "Shut up and help me," he barked. But no one moved. The venom reached Lyra's shoulder. She trembled, whispering, "Ryan, it burns." Rian grabbed his knife, slicing open the wound where the fangs had struck. Without thinking, without fear, he pressed his lips to the wound and sucked out the dark venom. The taste was metallic, bitter, and burning, like swallowing fire. The crew gasped in shock. "Captain, stop." "That's suicide," Vial shouted, but Rian didn't stop. He spat the black fluid onto the sand again and again, until his lips were numb and his vision blurred. Then Lyra's breathing slowed. The black lines under her skin faded slightly. For the first time, there was hope. Rian staggered back, coughing, wiping the blood from his mouth. "She's not dying today," he said through gritted teeth. But as he stood, the veins in his own neck began to darken. The medic's scanner beeped in alarm. "Ryan, you've been poisoned." He looked at his trembling hands, the world spinning around him. The suns blurred together into a single burning light. His heartbeat thundered in his ears. Lyra stirred weakly, whispering his name. He smiled faintly, forcing his words out. "Don't worry about me. Just breathe." Then everything went black. The crew surrounded them in silence. The desert wind howled like a morning cry. Somewhere beneath the sand, the serpent hissed again, waiting. No one knew if Ryan Holt would ever wake up. But one thing was certain. He had done something no one else dared. A human had fought the poison of an alien world, with nothing but courage. Ryan Holt dreamed of fire and stars. He saw the serpent's green eyes glowing in the darkness, whispering in a voice that wasn't human. "You took my poison, human. Now it lives in you." He opened his eyes suddenly. The sky above him wasn't the red desert anymore. It was black stone carved with strange glowing lines. He was lying on a cold surface, surrounded by alien symbols that pulsed like veins. Ryan tried to move, but pain struck through his arm and chest. His blood felt hot, burning from the inside. When he looked down, his veins were still dark, but they weren't spreading. Instead, they glowed faintly blue, like light trapped under his skin. Where am I?" he whispered. Lyra appeared at his side, pale but alive. Her arm was bandaged and her eyes were wide with worry. "You're awake." We thought we lost you, Ryan blinked. How long was I out? Almost 2 days, she said. We carried you to the ruins nearby. The Serpent didn't come back, but her voice shook. Something strange happened, Ryan. You stopped breathing for hours, and then your heart started beating again by itself. Ryan sat up slowly. The glowing walls around them hummed softly, responding to his movement. It was as if the place recognized him. What is this place? Dr. Vale's voice echoed from across the chamber. Ancient Sarathi Temple. We found it buried under the dunes. But ever since we brought you here, the whole structure woke up. He pointed toward the walls where symbols flickered brighter when Ryan stood. Lyra whispered, It's reacting to you. Ryan stared at his glowing veins. Because of the venom? Or because of something else, Veal said, uneasy. The Serpent's poison wasn't just venom. It carried Sarathi nanites. Living machines. They're inside you now. Ryan felt his pulse quicken. You mean I'm infected? Changed, Veal corrected. Maybe both. The chamber lights brightened suddenly as if answering their voices. A low hum filled the air, and the ancient door behind them began to open by itself. Beyond it stretched a long hall of crystal pillars glowing with alien energy. Lyra gasped. The ruins. They're alive. Ryan stood, his strength slowly returning. The pain faded with every breath. Then maybe it's time we find out why. He stepped forward, his boots echoing on the stone floor. As he entered the hall, symbols along the walls lit up one by one, creating a path of blue fire. The crew followed, though fear flickered in their eyes. At the end of the hall stood a giant statue, a Sarathi warrior carved from obsidian, holding a blade of light. Its eyes glowed the same blue as Ryan's veins. Then a voice, deep and mechanical, filled the chamber. Human blood has accepted the Sarathi gift. The curse becomes the key. Everyone froze. Lyra whispered, It's speaking our language. The voice continued, echoing like thunder. Only one who survives the venom may awaken the gate. The war begins again. The hall shook violently. Dust rained from the ceiling. The statue's chest opened, revealing a glowing core pulsing like a heart. Ryan felt drawn to it. His hand moved on its own, reaching toward the light. Ryan, don't, Lyra shouted. But when his fingers touched the core, energy surged through his body. Visions flashed in his mind. Of alien worlds burning, of Sarathi ships battling in the stars, and of humans standing among them, defiant. Then the light faded, leaving silence. Ryan dropped to his knees, gasping. I saw them. The Sarathi. They weren't just monsters. They were losing. They created the venom to protect something huge. Veal stepped closer. Protect what? Ryan looked up, eyes glowing brighter than before. A weapon. Or maybe a gate. I think it's under this planet. The chamber lights dimmed again. Far away, deep beneath the ruins, came a low rumbling sound like something enormous awakening from sleep. Lyra grabbed Ryan's arm. What have you done? Ryan stared into the darkness, his expression hard. Maybe saved us, or maybe doomed us all. Outside, the twin suns dipped behind the horizon. From the desert, 100 green eyes appeared in the shadows. The serpents had returned, surrounding the ruins. The crew raised their rifles, hearts pounding, and Ryan, glowing with alien light, whispered, They're not coming for blood this time. They're coming for me. The twin suns rose again over the red dunes of Arcanus, but this morning the desert did not look the same. It moved. From far away, sand rippled like waves and shapes slithered beneath it, hundreds of them. Inside the ruins, Captain Ryan Holt stood by the ancient doorway, staring at the glowing horizon. His veins still shimmered faintly blue under his skin. Every heartbeat felt strange, too strong, too steady. Behind him, Lyra worked nervously on her scanner. The sensors show movement. A lot of it. The serpents are gathering, Ryan nodded. They're not just animals. They're guarding something. Dr. Vale looked up from his notes, frowning. Or they're answering to someone. You said you saw visions, Captain. Maybe you activated something when you touched that core. Ryan turned to face them. Whatever I woke up, it's not done with us. I can feel it inside me, like it's calling me. Before anyone could answer, the ground shook. A deep rumble echoed through the ruins and dust rained from the ceiling. Seismic activity, Lyra shouted. Something's moving underground. The crew rushed toward the main chamber where the crystal pillars now glowed with furious blue light. The statue of the Sarathi warrior had cracked open further, revealing metal tendrils crawling out like vines. Vile whispered, It's repairing itself. No, Ryan said, eyes narrowing. It's waking up. He stepped closer, feeling a strange pull in his chest. His blood responded to the glow. The alien light pulsed faster, matching his heartbeat. Then from the cracks of the statue, a shape emerged. A massive serpent, larger than any before, with metallic scales and eyes like burning stars. Lyra gasped. It's the same one. The one that bit me. But this time the serpent did not attack. It stopped in front of Ryan and lowered its head as if bowing. The crew backed away in shock. Vile whispered, "It's submitting to him." Ryan felt the creature's mind touch his own. Cold, ancient, filled with memories that were not his. He saw flashes of alien soldiers, of worlds turned to ash, and of a gate of light hidden deep beneath Arcanis. The serpent's voice echoed inside his mind. You carry the blood of the chosen. The Sarathi failed, but you, human, can finish what we began. Ryan staggered back. What are you talking about? The gate must open, the voice hissed. Through your veins the key survives. The serpent lifted its head, hissing toward the desert. The ground outside trembled again. Hundreds of smaller serpents rising from the sand, surrounding the ruins like an army. Lyra grabbed Ryan's arm. They'll kill us! No, Ryan said quietly. They're protecting us, Vial shook his head. Protecting you, maybe? But why? What gate? What if opening it destroys everything? Before Ryan could answer, the serpent turned sharply. It let out a piercing cry that echoed across the desert. The smaller serpents responded in perfect unison. Then the sand split open. From deep below, a massive structure began to rise, black stone and silver metal spiraling upward. It was a tower, ancient and alive, glowing with the same blue light as Ryan's veins. Lyra stared in disbelief. It's a signal tower. Ryan's voice was low. No, it's the gate's beacon. Suddenly, the serpent coiled tightly and looked toward the sky. Above them, clouds began to twist and shimmer. A bright crack of light tore through the atmosphere. Something was coming. Vial shouted, Something's entering orbit! The air shimmered with energy. Ryan could feel the pull growing stronger inside him, like the venom wanted to rise again. He fell to one knee, clutching his chest. Lyra knelt beside him. Ryan, stay with me! He looked up at her, eyes glowing brighter than ever. It's too late. The signal. It's calling them. Who? The Sarathi, he whispered. What's left of them? The sky split open completely. From the rift above, massive dark shapes descended, ships alien and silent, their hulls covered in the same glowing patterns as the ruins. The serpent hissed again, this time in fear. Lyra whispered, They're coming back. Ryan stood slowly, his veins pulsing with light. Then we find out why they left. The first ship landed with a blast of wind and dust. Its doors opened, revealing tall, armored beings, Sarathi warriors, alive after all. Their leader stepped forward, his face hidden behind a mask of light. He looked at Ryan for a long moment and said, in a deep, metallic voice, The poison should have killed you. Instead, you became one of us. The crew froze, hearts pounding. Lyra whispered, Ryan, what does he mean? Ryan stared back at the alien warrior, feeling the venom pulse in his veins. I don't know, he said softly, but I'm starting to think the venom didn't save me. It changed me. Outside, the desert wind screamed. The serpents hissed in fear. And high above, the twin suns dimmed behind the shadow of the returning Sarathi fleet. The wind of Arcanis howled through the ruins as the alien ships settled on the sand like shadows made of metal. Their hulls shimmered with blue light, matching the glow that ran through Ryan Holt's veins. Lyra and the rest of the crew stood frozen, gripping their rifles. The towering figures that emerged from the ships were like nightmares, tall, armored, with long arms and faces hidden behind smooth masks. They carried weapons that hummed softly, the sound of death wrapped in calm. The leader stepped forward, his eyes burning behind the mask. His voice was deep, ancient, and cold. Human. The blood of the gate runs through you. Ryan met his gaze. You mean the venom? The Sarathi warrior tilted his head. To you it is venom. To us it is legacy. You carry what we lost, Lyra whispered. Ryan, don't talk to them. But Ryan didn't move away. He felt the strange pull inside him again, the same warmth he felt when the serpent bowed. The alien symbols on the walls began to glow brighter, responding to his heartbeat. What do you want from me? Ryan asked. The warrior's mask flickered, showing a glimpse of reptilian skin beneath. The gate beneath this world must open. Only your blood can awaken it. The Sarathi failed to survive the poison. You succeeded. You are the key. Dr. Vile stepped forward. If we open your gate, what happens to us? The Sarathi turned toward him. If you refuse, your species will end. The war we began is returning. The gate is not a weapon. It is a shield, one that must be reactivated before the hunger arrives. Lyra frowned. The hunger? The alien's voice dropped low. The darkness that consumes galaxies. It destroyed our worlds. It will come for yours next. Rian's heart pounded. He wanted to believe him, but every word sounded like a half-truth. If this gate is so important, why did you leave it buried? Because it demanded blood, the Sarathi said. Our blood. Too many died. The system was made for life unlike ours. But now the venom inside you has adapted. It can wake the shield again. Ryan stepped back, shaking his head. So you want to use me like a battery? The Sarathi spread his arms. You misunderstand. The universe will burn if you do not act. You are chosen by the venom. Humanity is chosen by chance. Lyra moved closer to Ryan. We don't know if they're telling the truth. I know, he said quietly, but I can feel it. The gate, it's calling me. The ground rumbled again. From deep below, blue light began to rise through cracks in the stone floor. A circle of glowing runes formed under Rian's feet. Vial shouted, "Get off that platform!" Rian tried to step back, but his boots stuck to the surface as if magnetized. Energy climbed around him like smoke, curling through his arms and chest. His veins blazed with white light. He screamed as visions tore through his mind. Cities burning, oceans of stars collapsing into black holes, human ships fighting an invisible wave of darkness. He saw the hunger, an endless swarm of shadows devouring whole worlds. Then the voice of the serpent whispered in his head again. The gate must feed. Blood for light, pain for survival. Ryan's eyes snapped open. If I open it, what happens to me? The Sarathi leader stepped closer. You die, but your death will save billions. Lyra's face went pale. No, there has to be another way. Ryan's body shook as the energy flared around him. He looked at her, his voice strained. Lyra, if what they're saying is true, she grabbed his arm. I don't care. You already saved me once. You don't get to die for them now. The Sarathi raised his hand. The choice is not yours. The gate has begun to open. Ryan's blood boiled with energy. The runes spread across the floor, connecting to the walls, to the pillars, to the ancient statue of the warrior. Light filled the entire ruin, shooting into the sky like a beacon. In the distance, the smaller serpents hissed and buried themselves in the sand. Even they feared what was coming. Rian screamed as the light consumed him. His heartbeat echoed like thunder, matching the pulse of the planet. Then, silence. The glow vanished. Ryan fell to his knees, gasping. The runes faded to gray. Lyra caught him before he hit the ground. Ryan, talk to me. He opened his eyes weakly. His veins no longer glowed blue, they were gold. The Sarathi stepped back in awe. The gate has accepted him, the leader said softly. The human has become the blood key. Ryan looked down at his trembling hands. He didn't feel pain anymore. He felt power. Ancient, heavy, and endless, he whispered. I can hear it now. The gate, it's not just a shield. It's alive. The Sarathi's mask flickered again. Then pray, human, that it remembers which side it serves. Outside, the twin suns darkened as something vast moved across the sky. Something not of this universe. The sky above Arcanus was no longer red. It had turned black. Something vast moved behind the clouds, not a storm but a shadow. The suns flickered as if afraid. The Sarathi fleet hovered silently above the ruins. Their lights dimmed. Weapons ready but trembling. Rian Holt stood in the center of the ancient chamber, veins now glowing gold under his skin. Lyra knelt beside him, fear and awe in her eyes. Ryan, she whispered. What's happening to you? He looked up. It's coming. I can feel it. The ground quaked again. Dust poured from the ceiling as the runes on the floor relit, brighter than ever. The alien warrior, the Sarathi leader, turned his gaze to the sky. The hunger has found us. A sound rolled across the desert, deep and hollow, like the scream of a dying world. The air thickened, heavy and cold. Out on the dunes, the serpents began to writhe and twist, their bodies burning with white fire before turning to ash. Lyra clutched her helmet. They're dying. Why? Ryan's voice was distant, like an echo. The hunger eats life energy. Everything it touches turns to dust. The Sarathi warrior stepped toward him. Activate the gate now, or we all die. Ryan stared at the glowing ruins. He could feel the structure's heartbeat syncing with his own. If I open it, the power will kill me. The warrior's tone was calm. Then die for them. You carry the legacy of 2 species now. Lyra stood and faced the alien. No, he's not your weapon. The Sarathi's mask flared. You think this is choice human? The universe has no mercy. Before Ryan could answer, the ceiling cracked open. A beam of black light, darker than shadow, pierced through, striking the floor. The stone melted like wax. From within the light, something stepped forward. It wasn't a creature, not really. It was a moving shape of darkness, a hole in reality. Its eyes were pits of white flame. The Sarathi shouted a command, and his soldiers fired their plasma weapons. The beams passed through the creature as if it were smoke. One by one, their armor corroded, their bodies crumbling to gray dust. Lyra screamed. Ryan, do something! He clenched his fists, feeling the golden energy burning in his blood. I don't know if I can. You can, she said fiercely. You've already done the impossible. He looked at her. The girl he'd saved, the only reason he was still fighting. Then hold on. Ryan stepped onto the glowing platform again. The runes flared to life, climbing the walls like fire. The darkness turned toward him, shrieking. The voice of the serpent whispered in his mind once more. Blood for light, pain for survival. Ryan drove his hand into his chest, into the glowing veins, and roared as golden light burst from his body. The gate responded, a column of light shooting through the roof into the heavens. The dark creature screamed and recoiled, its edges burning away under the brilliance. But more shadows followed, rising from the ground surrounding the temple. The Sarathi leader shouted, It's not enough! The gate needs more energy! Ryan's legs trembled. His vision blurred. It's taking everything. Lyra ran to him, gripping his shoulders. Then take mine too. Before he could stop her, she pressed her hand to his chest. The golden energy leaped from her skin to his, linking them both. The pain hit instantly. She cried out but didn't let go. Ryan shouted, Lyra! You'll die! Then we die together. She yelled back. The light grew blinding. The ruins shook as the gate expanded, a massive sphere of gold swallowing the entire valley. The dark creatures screamed and dissolved into mist, torn apart by the force. Above, the sky split open, and through it, for one brief moment, Earth's blue glow appeared among the stars. Then silence. When the dust settled, the Sarathi ships floated in stillness. The darkness was gone. The gate shimmered faintly before closing, its energy fading like the last breath of a dying star. Lyra lay unconscious beside Ryan, her skin pale. He touched her face gently. Stay with me. The Sarathi leader stepped forward, kneeling beside him. The hunger is gone, for now. But you have paid the price. Ryan looked down at his glowing hands. We're still alive. That's enough, the alien nodded slowly. You have done what our kind could not, perhaps. This is why humanity survives where others fall. Ryan smiled weakly. Maybe it's because we don't know when to quit. The suns began to rise again, painting the desert gold. But the light inside Ryan didn't fade. It pulsed gently like a second heart. The serpent's voice returned, soft and calm now. The key still beats. The gate sleeps. The war is not over. Ryan looked toward the horizon. Then neither am I. The desert of Arcanus was quiet again. Too quiet. The sky had cleared after the storm of darkness, but the air still shimmered with leftover energy. The once sleeping ruins now pulsed with a slow golden heartbeat, the echo of the gate's power. Ryan Holt sat near the ancient platform, his body weak, his veins still glowing faintly gold. Every breath felt heavier than the last. He had given everything to stop the hunger, but something inside him refused to die. Lyra lay beside him, unconscious but alive. Her hand still rested on his chest where their blood had joined. Still breathing, Ryan whispered, his voice cracked. Good. The Sarathi leader stepped forward, his tall frame casting a long shadow. His mask flickered, revealing tired eyes. She carries a spark of the gate now, as do you. You are no longer fully human. Ryan looked at his golden veins. What does that make me? The alien's voice was calm. The gatekeeper, the first of your kind to survive the light. Ryan laughed weakly. Doesn't feel like surviving. The Sarathi raised his gaze toward the horizon. The hunger will return. The gate is damaged. You cannot rest. Ryan stared at him. You mean you want me to fix it? Yes, you and your kind must learn to protect it or the universe will fall again. Ryan's jaw tightened. You mean turn humans into you? The Sarathi's mask flickered again. We were not meant to survive this long. Perhaps humanity is our second chance. Lyra groaned softly, waking up. Her eyes fluttered open, glowing faintly like his. Ryan, what happened? He smiled. You saved me again. Or maybe we saved each other. She tried to sit up, but he stopped her gently. Rest. The gate's power took a lot from you. The Sarathi warrior approached her and bowed slightly. Something no one had seen an alien do before. Human, your courage binds worlds. Without your sacrifice, the light would have died. Lyra frowned. I didn't do it for you. Ryan smiled faintly. That's exactly why it worked. The ground trembled softly again. The ruins glowed brighter. From deep below, a humming sound rose, not threatening, but alive. Vale, who had been scanning the readings, gasped. Captain! The gate's energy is stabilizing on its own. The Sarathi turned sharply. Impossible. It needs a host to maintain balance. Ryan stood slowly, his body trembling but steady. Maybe it already has one. The others stepped back as golden light began to form around Ryan again. It rose from his chest and spread across his arms like flowing fire. Lyra reached for him. Ryan, what's happening? He looked at her with calm eyes. I think it's choosing me. The Sarathi bowed his head. Then you are truly the gatekeeper. A deep hum filled the air as the ruins shifted and reshaped around him. Walls opened to reveal tunnels of light, each leading deep into the planet's core. The symbols along the walls changed from Sarathi language to something new, a fusion of alien script and English. Lyra whispered, It's rewriting itself. Vial stared in disbelief. No, it's learning from him. Ryan closed his eyes. He could feel the entire world breathing beneath him, every grain of sand, every spark of energy. The gate spoke in his mind, its voice both alien and familiar. You are balance. You are bridge. Protect the light. When the dark returns, you will not be alone. He opened his eyes again and the glow faded to a soft shimmer. The gate? It's connected to me now. I can feel everything. Even the Sarathi ships in orbit. The Sarathi leader stepped closer. Then you must lead both our kinds. The hunger feeds on division. Only unity can stop it. Ryan shook his head. I'm no leader. I'm just a soldier who got bit by a snake. The Sarathi placed his hand on Ryan's shoulder. Perhaps the universe needed a soldier more than a king. Lyra smiled weakly. If he's leading, I'm following. Someone needs to make sure he doesn't get himself killed again. Ryan chuckled. Deal. The suns began to rise higher, bathing the ruins in light. For the first time since they'd arrived, it didn't feel like fire. It felt warm. But far above, beyond the sky, a faint pulse of darkness rippled across the stars. Ryan looked up, sensing it instantly. It's not over. No, the Sarathi agreed. The hunger never ends, but now it knows humanity fights back. Ryan looked at his hands, at the gold veins that glowed like living light. Then let it come. This time we'll be ready. The gate behind him pulsed softly as if listening. The symbol of humanity and Sarathi joined in one shining pattern. And for the first time in history, two species stood together, bound not by fear, but by blood and light. The sons of Arcanus rose for what might have been the last time. The desert shimmered in silence, but something dark moved beyond the horizon, a pulse of shadow spreading like ink through the sky. The hunger was back. Captain Rian Holt stood at the edge of the ruins, golden light glowing faintly beneath his skin. The gate behind him pulsed softly, breathing like a living heart. Lyra stood beside him, her arm wrapped in silver bandages, her eyes still glowing faintly blue. Does it ever stop? She asked quietly. Rian stared at the dark horizon. No, but neither do we. The Sarathi leader approached, his armor cracked but still shining with alien symbols. The hunger has found this system again. It feeds on energy. It will reach us in hours, Ryan nodded. Then we hold the line here. The alien bowed slightly. The gatekeeper fights alone? Rian looked at him, then at the crew, at Lyra. Rian smiled. No, humanity fights with me. The Sarathi raised his weapon and shouted in his own language. Across the dunes, the alien warriors formed ranks glowing blue under the twin suns. Above them, human shuttles descended from orbit, soldiers stepping out in armored suits marked with the flag of Earth. For the first time in history, humans and Sarathi stood side by side. Lyra looked at Ryan. "You think we can really stop it?" He placed a hand on her shoulder. "We don't stop it. We survive it. That's what we do." The sky cracked open. A wave of darkness poured through. A storm of shapes twisting and shrieking, their bodies like smoke and metal. The hunger had come. The first impact hit the desert like a meteor. Sand turned to glass. The ruins shook violently. The gate behind them blazed to life, its golden energy spreading like lightning across the sky. Ryan lifted his rifle, the metal glowing gold in his hands. The power of the gate ran through him like fire. "Hold your ground," he shouted, the air filled with light and screams. Human plasma fire burned blue. Sarathi energy weapons sliced through the shadows, but the hunger didn't die. It absorbed light, feeding on it. Lyra fired beside him, her hands shaking. "It's not working." Ryan's eyes blazed brighter. "Then we change the rules." He threw his rifle aside, raising both hands. Golden energy burst from his body, forming a wall of light between the soldiers and the storm. The creatures shrieked as the light burned through them. The Sarathi leader watched in awe. He channels the gate itself. The power grew too strong. The sand melted under Ryan's boots. His veins blazed like stars, his skin cracking with light. He could feel the gate's voice in his mind again. To save them all, one must become the light. He understood now. The Venom, the gate, the serpents, and it was all one design. The Sarathi had failed because they feared sacrifice. Humanity survived because it embraced it. Ryan turned to Lyra, his voice soft but steady. "Get everyone back to the ships." She grabbed his arm. "No, not again." "You don't have to," he smiled. "I do. This is why it chose me." Tears filled her eyes. "You promised we'd survive together." "We will," he whispered. "Because you'll tell them how we did." Before she could speak again, he stepped forward into the storm. The light around him exploded outward, blinding and pure. He raised his arms and the gate responded, opening fully for the first time. A beam of golden fire shot into the heavens, cutting through the darkness like a blade. The hunger screamed, its form tearing apart, dissolving into sparks that vanished across the stars. The planet trembled. The ruins cracked. The gate's heart burned brighter than both suns combined. Then, silence. When the dust cleared, the desert was calm again. The sky was blue. The gate stood quiet, its glow fading to soft gold. Lyra ran forward, calling his name. But Ryan was gone. Only his footprints remained, burned into the sand, unglowing faintly before fading away. The Sarathi leader bowed his head. He became what we could never be. He became the light. Lyra touched the sand where he'd stood. He wasn't a god, she whispered. He was human. And that's what made him unstoppable. Above them, the gate pulsed once, a heartbeat across the sky before closing forever. Months later, under the rebuilt base of Arcanus, a small crystal was found deep beneath the ruins. It glowed faintly gold, warm to the touch. When Lyra held it, she heard a voice, gentle, familiar. "The fight isn't over. Keep the light alive," she smiled through her tears. "I will, Ryan, I promise." Outside, the twin suns rose again, lighting the desert with golden fire. Humanity had survived the darkness, not because of their weapons or their technology, but because one man refused to stop fighting.